The subject matter of this video is protein powders, and I have gathered scientific information about protein powders as a doctor who can speak authoritatively on lifestyle and nutrition. In this video, you will find all the necessary details and comprehensive information about protein powders that you need to know for making informed decisions. Are protein powders harmful? Should protein powders be used? Are athletes putting themselves at risk when using protein powder? The subject of this video is protein powders. Please watch the video until the end. I will not leave any missing points about protein powders. Protein powders are some of the best-selling dietary supplements worldwide. Yes, you heard it wrong. 1. Coming up next. Apart from all food supplements, protein powders are separate. Over 500 million people globally regularly play sports. He wants to protect his muscles while working out. After securing his muscles, he also aims to maintain this form and enhance his sports performance. Are protein powders harmful? What is protein powder? First, let us talk about this. Protein powders can be plant-based or animal-based concentrates. Vegetable powders are typically made from ingredients like soy, rice, and peas, while animal powders are derived from sources such as milk or chicken. The product obtained from milk is produced from the powder of whey. In other words, whey protein is produced by hydrolyzing the water that settles at the bottom during cheese production, extracting the proteins, and combining the casein proteins for sale. The protein powders that are most sold in the market are whey proteins. These proteins are obtained by concentrating whey. This is an animal secretion. It may include the verdict. I'm saying this because of that. Those allergic to milk should be careful. Protein powders have about 20-30 grams of protein in one scoop and are typically made with added ingredients like flavorings and sweeteners to be ready for consumption. People add these to milk or water and drink it. Athletes add these to milk or water and drink it. People often use protein powder for muscle growth after sports. What is the distinction between protein powder and food? Why do we utilize protein powder instead of getting protein from food, or why do athletes opt for this? The main reason is that people cannot establish their own feeding routine. The studies show this. If an individual creates their own feeding schedule, consumes a meal rich in protein after working out, there is no necessity to consume protein powder. Even a normal individual without regular exercise habits needs 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram throughout the day. So, an individual weighing 80 kilograms should consume 64 grams of protein per day. But unfortunately, athletes cannot always obtain this through nutrition. It may not be possible to immediately leave the sport and consume a meal with plenty of protein. The athlete goes to sports but may not be able to maintain this diet afterwards. The main thing to do here is not to quit sports, because you may not be able to change the time of sports. May not be able to create a proper meal. Protein powders can be used as a supplement here. Approx. 25-30 gram protein in one scoop of protein powder, just mentioned. An athlete who exercises, does muscle training, and performs resistance exercises can consume up to 2 g of protein per kilogram throughout the day. An 80 kiloliter person can consume 160 gram protein, but it's challenging for them to obtain it through their diet and nutrition. It is not really easy to combine regular red meat, lean red meat, regular vegetable proteins, egg whites and cheese, like yogurt, and take it as protein. Protein powders can be useful in such cases. Are protein powders completely harmless? In a study, it was found that most of the whey proteins consumed as protein powder are actually produced from peas, chickens, and lower quality proteins. What I'm trying to say is, are you sure you are consuming whey protein? In addition, protein powders may contain sweeteners, flavor enhancers, aspartame, acesulfame K, sugar, and chemicals such as BPA in their packaging. When you mention that you purchase protein powder, you might actually be consuming the sugars, sweeteners, and chemicals contained in it. You are responsible even for the jar box of the protein powder you consume, because the jar containing BPA can increase the risk of cancer. In a different study, it was discovered that a large number of protein powders contain heavy metals. What I'm trying to say is, when you consume protein powder, you get protein, but you don't want to consume artificial sweeteners like heavy metals with it. Please be careful. Well, I paid attention to that. I bought the protein powder in a clean way. I used a brand I know. Does protein powder actually cause harm to the kidneys and liver as it is claimed? No, I can clearly state this. There used to be a belief that consuming too much protein could harm the kidneys. However, it has been determined that even when 3 grams of protein powder is consumed during intense sports period throughout the day, up to 3 grams per kilogram, there is no risk related to the kidneys even when protein is consumed. So even when an individual weighing 80 kilograms consumes up to 240 grams of protein per day, their kidneys are not at risk. But generally, I do not recommend exceeding 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per day. Because what is important for us is not the daily consumption, but the continuous consumption, continuous exercise. Can everyone utilize this? I mentioned it doesn't harm the kidneys. However, if you have kidney failure and your GFR value is below 90, I recommend refraining from consuming protein powder. To prevent product increase in individuals and the resulting goiter disease, protein restriction can be implemented. If there's a kidney-related condition, I can suggest avoiding protein powders. Does protein powder damage bones? There was once a belief. The studies demonstrate this. Protein powders do not cause harm to bones. On the contrary, it protects the bones. Bone is a living tissue. Protein powders also help calcium adhere better to the bone, increasing the bone formation process by changing the balance between bone formation and bone resorption towards the formation side. Decreases muscle wasting risk, guards muscles, bones. Protein powders don't cause osteoporosis. In this video, I tried to include scientific information about protein powder. I said that protein powders are generally not harmful. An individual who does intense exercise can use protein powder, and if they cannot get enough protein through their diet, they can take support from protein powders. However, attention should be paid to the sweeteners in it. Attention should be paid to the BPA substance in the box, and attention should be paid to other chemicals used in it. Is the protein you're using an animal protein? Is it plant-based protein? You need to know. Some plant-based protein powders are available and can be consumed by vegans after exercise. This is extremely important. Protein powder should never be used as a replacement for a meal. I took protein powder, skipped the meal. No, you can't get vitamins from protein powders. You can't buy fiber, you can't get minerals, you cannot feed the good bacteria in the intestines with protein powders. You can't go on the day with just protein powder, you can only use it as a supplement. You can consume it to enhance sports performance after physical activity, to expedite the recovery of muscles after exercise, or to preserve muscle mass. But I consumed my protein powder, I didn't mix it with anything else. We need beneficial oils. An exerciser needs carbs. As crucial as protein, carbs and fats are also important for a person who engages in regular exercise. For brain health, we should consume beneficial fatty acids. For livers, we should take elevator. What I'm trying to say is, you can be an athlete. You may decide to consume protein powder. After observing my actions, you might also consider buying protein powder. Protein powder should not be used as a substitute for full meals. It is not specifically positioned at a certain point in the diet. I was having breakfast in the morning or during the midday. Let me just skip it and manage with protein powder now. No, never. Sports are done for health. While doing resistance exercises, we cannot neglect carbohydrates, minerals, fibers, and antioxidants by constantly taking protein to strengthen our muscles. We will consume our fruits, we will consume our vegetables, and we will go on a rainbow diet. Protein powders are just a supplement. It is not a type of diet, and it does not replace a regular meal. In addition, I think I debunked many urban legends about protein powders in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.